Hare Krishna. We continue reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 9, the most confidential knowledge. We are reading from the purport to text 11, Avajananti Manushim Tanum Ashritam, Param Bhavam Ajananto Mama Bhuta Maheshwaram. Yesterday we already started with the purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. We are in the middle of the purport. I'll just read the translation again. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord of all that be. So Krishna is saying that when I come as a human-like form, then people think I am a human being, but I am not a human being. I am God. This is what it is. Krishna is God. He is not an ordinary human being. Despite the transcendental qualities of Lord Krishna's body, its full bliss and knowledge, there are so many so-called scholars and commentators of Bhagavad Gita who deride Krishna as an ordinary man. So Krishna is God. The form of Krishna that we see, that is not material. His body is not like this material body that we are having right now. No, that form is Sat Chit Ananda, eternal, full of bliss and full of knowledge. Yet, there are so many people who give commentaries on Bhagavad Gita and they say that Krishna is an ordinary person. They're commenting on Bhagavad Gita. Many don't even mention Krishna in their book with the title Bhagavad Gita. But some of them do, and they refer to Krishna as an ordinary living entity. The scholar may be born an extraordinary man due to his previous good work, but this conception of Sri Krishna is due to a poor fund of knowledge. Therefore, he is called Mudha, for only foolish persons consider Krishna to be an ordinary human being. So Krishna is saying that if you think I am just the ordinary living entity, ordinary Jivatma, if you think I am the Jivatma, you're foolish. I am not an ordinary living entity. I'm not seeing like you. I am God. I'm the Supreme Person. Now someone will say, oh, Krishna is saying he's God. Why shall I believe him? I can say I am God. I can say that I'm God. Why should I say Krishna is God? Yes, but Krishna also proved that he is God. No one else says that he is the creator, maintainer, and annihilator of the three worlds. Not even Lord Brahma, not even Lord Shiva, not Durga Devi, not Ganeshji. No. All of them say Krishna is the creator, maintainer, and annihilator. And Krishna also says the same thing. No one else says that I am the one who's maintaining all the living entities in all the worlds from time immemorial. Only Krishna says that. And all the Vedas say that. All the great personalities say that. Can we maintain? Who can we maintain? We say we maintain our body, but things happen, circumstances happen, and we say, oh, I became helpless. How can we be God? God is never helpless. God is the most powerful. So when we compare ourselves with Krishna, we are foolish. The foolish consider Krishna an ordinary human being because they do not know the confidential activities of the Supreme Lord and his different energies. So God is omnipotent, Krishna is omnipotent. Where is our omnipotencies? If we think we are God, then where is our omnipotencies? We don't have it. So we may say, oh, I forgot I have these omnipotencies, but when I remember I'm God, then I will get them again. But then what kind of a God are we that we can forget? How can God forget? No, God is not so ordinary. We are the living entities. We are the Jivatmas. Krishna, he never forgets. He's called Achyuta, infallible, never forgets his position. They do not know that Krishna's body is a symbol of complete knowledge and bliss, and that he is the proprietor of everything that be, and that he can award liberation to anyone. So, we have this short duration of life. How long do we live in this body? And in that, also, so much of our time goes in. When we are young, we don't understand anything. Then we come to the point to trying to understand spirit and matter. And so, whatever time we have left, if we go in trying to compete with Krishna, then we won't even have the chance to get out of the material world. If the time we have left, we keep saying, no, no, Krishna is ordinary human being. Look, he came and then he had this pastimes and he did this Ras Leela and then he left. But instead, we can take advantage. We are not using it properly. If we can just understand Krishna's God and he can help me get out of the material world. So instead of being envious of him, instead of trying to compete with him, if we can just surrender to him, take his shelter. My dear Krishna, I have heard in Bhagavad Gita, you say that you can take me out of the material world. Please take me out of the material world. That's it we have to do. We have to give up our desire to try to compete with Krishna. We just continue to hear and we chant Hare Krishna, and Krishna can take out anyone from this material world. He's the only one who can give liberation. In Hiranyakashipu also asked Brahma that you make me immortal. Give me the boon that I will never die. Lord Brahma said, I cannot give you that boon. Why? Because even I have to die one day. Only Krishna can give this boon. So instead of trying to compete with Krishna or be envious of Krishna, we should take shelter of Krishna, surrender to him, and ask him to bring us back home, back to Godhead. Because they do not know that Krishna has so many transcendental qualifications, they deride him. Nor do they know that the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in this material world is a manifestation of his internal energy. So Krishna, when he appears in this material world, his appearance is not like how we take birth. When we take up a birth in the material world, we don't have a choice which species we are going to take birth in. Are we going to be in the body of a human being or an animal or a plant or fish? It's not our choice. We are forced inside the body of a particular species based on our past desire and karma. We cannot choose which planet, which universe. No. So we are under the control. And we are forced out of the mother's body and we are covered with all this fluid and blood. And when we come out crying, Krishna does not appear like that. How does Krishna appear when he appeared in front of Devaki and Vasudev? He came in his four-armed form, in his Vishnu form. He was wearing all his clothes, he was wearing the beautiful ornaments, and he was not that, Devaki was crying that she has maternal pains and, she's having labor pains. No, he just came out. He just appeared in front of her, that's it. And why can't he do that? He is God, he's omnipresent, so he can do that. He can. So we have to understand the difference between our position and God's position. He's the master of the material energy. We are pretending that we are the masters of the material energy. Actually, we have right now come under the control of the material energy. Then someone will say, no, I'm the master. Really? Then can we stop our bodies from becoming old or diseased or death? No, we can't. We can't. As has been explained in several places, Mama Maya Duratyaya. He claims that the material energy, although very powerful, is under his control, and whoever surrenders unto him can get out of the control of this material energy. So if we really want to get out of this material world, we need to just simply surrender to Krishna. My dear Krishna, I'm yours. Please bring me out of this material world. It's as simple as that. And Krishna, he's saying this material energy, she's mine. She's very powerful, but she belongs to me. If a soul surrendered to Krishna can get out of the influence of material energy, then how can the Supreme Lord, who conducts the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the whole cosmic nature, have a material body like ours? So if Krishna can help us get out of the material world, if he can give us liberation, then how can he himself be bound by the laws of material nature? He's the one who's creating the material nature. Material nature belongs to him. He's the one who's creating the material world. He's maintaining it. He's destroying it. So how can he be under this control of the material energy? He's not. He's the controller of the material energy. So this conception of Krishna is complete foolishness. Foolish persons, however, cannot conceive that the personality of Godhead, Krishna, appearing just like an ordinary man, can be the controller of all the atoms and of the gigantic manifestation of the universal form. So then we say, no, no, no. How can Krishna control the atom? How can Krishna be having this Virat roop? We are not able to understand this. But because we are not able to understand, doesn't mean that it's not the truth. All the Shastras are stating it's the truth. We have to accept the truth as it is. We cannot alter the truth to our whims or our fancy. The truth is the truth. The biggest and the minutest are beyond their conception, so they cannot imagine that a form like that of a human being can simultaneously control the infinite and the minute. So Krishna, he is controlling this entire universe, and he's also controlling the movement of one atom. We were reading in Bhagavatam how one atom, the distance it takes to travel from one to another, what is the time. So who has made all that law? Krishna has. Krishna is controlling the atoms. If he had not entered as the Paramatma inside every atom, nothing is going to work. And because we cannot understand, our mind is not able to conceive of the unlimited and the smallest. And so that's why we say, oh, no, no, it's not true. It's not true. So actually, although he's controlling the finite and infinite, he's apart from all this manifestation. So he's controlling the entire material world, he's controlling the entire material energy, but he himself is separate from this. He himself is a supreme person. It's not that he has become the material energy or he has become the material world. No, the material energy is his energy. And he is manifesting this material world, but he still remains Krishna, the person. We, by our energy, we may create something, we may cook something. So once the dish is ready, then if one says, oh, that so-and-so person does not exist anymore just because she created this dish, and we'll say, hey, you foolish, I'm standing here. What do you mean I don't exist? I just created it. Similarly, Krishna creates the universe. Doesn't mean he does not exist anymore. He still exists. So it is clearly stated concerning his Yogam Aishwaram, his inconceivable transcendental energy, that he can control the infinite and finite simultaneously, and he can remain aloof from them. So these are his omnipotencies, inconceivable, inconceivable. If we can try to understand that anything inconceivable is possible by Krishna, then we are trying to understand him. Why can't he do it? Oh, just because I am thinking I can't do it? But yes, but why can't God do it? Of course, God can do. He's unlimited. He has inconceivable potencies. So, yes, he can. Although the foolish cannot imagine how Krishna, who appears just like a human being, can control the infinite and the finite, those who are pure devotees accept this. For they know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, they completely surrender unto Him and engage in Krishna consciousness, devotional service of the Lord. So, this is the reason we need to hear from the pure devotees, because the devotees understand the position of Krishna. They understand that he is God. They already have the devotion for him. They are engaged in his service. So, what they are singing is really Krishna Katha. Whereas there's some professional reciters, they are thinking that Krishna is an ordinary living entity. So what they are speaking is not Krishna Katha because they do not understand Krishna's position. So they are not able to glorify him. Instead, they are just creating more and more misunderstanding. So this comes to again the point that we should hear from the devotees. Hear Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita from the devotees. Chant the holy names of Krishna and go back home, back to Godhead. Is that okay?
Yes.
So we'll stop here for today. Thank you so much for listening and joining in Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.